Uh, hello, everybody. This is your teacher, and today we're gonna be talking about organisms. But today we're gonna be talking about the biodiversity and classification of what we call microorganisms. Microorganisms forms a major and a vital role in our lives. And some microorganisms are very detrimental to our health and the society. So we're gonna be focusing on, but before we can dive deep into microorganisms, I just want to also highlight that we also have what we call plants, which are namely plantae, and we also have what we call animalia, which are also called animals. But today we're gonna be talking about bacteria, viruses, fungi, and what? And protista, sorry for that, protista. So we can start with our lessons for today by starting with the microorganisms, which are viruses. But before we can dive deep into viruses, we can instead that actually I can tell you that when we say microorganisms, we are talking about organisms which cannot be seen through microscope, right? You cannot see them with your naked eyes. So you have to understand that when we talk about microorganisms, we talk about only microorganisms which can be seen through what we call a microscope. So we can go further into talking about viruses. Viruses are very detrimental to our lives, and you need to understand that viruses can cause harm to us and can cause fatal to our lives. We can focus on HIV and AIDS, for example, which is a virus. Once that virus gets into your body, it simply means that it can never get out of your body because of once actually viruses cannot be treated, but they can be managed or temporarily treated. So you have to bear in mind that once a virus gets into your body, then it's a fatal death. And then we can go further into talking about what we call bacteria. Bacteria can also be harmful and also be beneficial for us, but most of the time bacteria are very beneficial for us in such a way that you need to understand that viruses are what we call like bacteria are what we call I don't know if I should say edibles in foods, because bacteria are responsible for making yogurts. They are also responsible for making what we call the sour milk, which is produced mainly in South Africa, which is called imasi or ingomas, which is consumed by our population or which is consumed by old people in our societies. So you have to understand that bacteria are used. They are used in order to produce what we call yogurt. There are so many people eating yogurts, but they don't know how yogurts are made, and they don't know what is within a yogurt. You need to understand that bacteria are added into a yogurt so that it can taste sour. You know the reasons why yogurts in Amasi taste sour is because of bacteria within them. You understand? So we can also talk about antibiotics. Antibiotics are what we call treatments for our diseases, right? So you need to understand that bacteria can also produce what we call penicillium. Penicillium, it is one of the antibiotics which were produced by a popular scientist. I forgot the name, but I'll tell you the name. In I think it was around 1960s, but for now that's not important for you. The only thing that you need to focus on is the benefits of using bacteria. So you get to understand that penicilliums were used in order to produce what we call antibiotics. Antibiotics for the treatment of people, for the treatment of people during the World War One, World War Two, World War Three, during that era. So these penicilliums were used to treat those patients with care and tender. So not all microorganisms are harmful for us, but we also need to understand that microorganisms forms a major part in our lives. We can talk about fungi, for example. Fungi also produce what we call benefits for us in human lives. There is what we call a mushroom, for example, right? A mushroom is produced through what we call a fungi. A lot of people eat fungi, but they don't understand where does the fungi comes from, or how is the fungi formed. The fungi forms what we call a mushroom. Mushroom is one of the edibles. I don't know if I should categorize it as a vegetable or what. I don't know, because there's still a debate on that. Some people prefer it as a vegetable, some people just prefer it as an edible, but we all prefer it as a vegetable. So we have to understand that mushrooms are very important for our daily lives, and as we consume them, we get to a point whereby now they start to be very beneficial for our health, and they help us from certain diseases, help us from certain pathogens which can cause us harm. You understand? So you have to take it into consideration that not all microorganisms are very beneficial. They are very detrimental for us, but some are very beneficial for us, and you have to understand them.